Hey friends, it's Renee. I'm going to be doing a 35 to 45 minutes, so larger past life reading. I just came back from my little winter break with my kids, and I decided I'm going to change the layout. Well, I started changing this before I took time off. We're not going to be in a structured for these past life readings. We're not going to do a structured 8 card reading. We're just going to go more with like a time and more of just what kind of comes from the spirit guides and the messages received in the cards. I went ahead and shuffled beforehand. I also found during break that shuffling beforehand helps a lot when it actually comes to videoing, because then I don't have to go in and edit and fast forward through the shuffle, because my shuffle does take a while. So I went ahead, shuffled, got cards ready. So right away at the beginning, we're going to be looking at this energy of the very beginning of your life. And I kind of wanted a goddess card here to pick up the energy. The home card. So your household situation is improving. Now, this is reversed. So I'm feeling the household situation was not improving. So this is kind of what I'm getting from this selection that the guides are showing us. Now, this is your early life. This is the life, the family that you were born into. So we have the reversed moon card. Right away, I love the moon card. It's in this deck. It is like my favorite card, and it almost always will appear somewhere during shuffle or coming out when I'm doing a past life or spirit guide reading. Most of the time I see it as the shadow card or shuffling. It's just kind of a little message from the guides. But here I'm feeling this energy of right before you were born. So this card is very much can be a pregnancy indicator card, a fertility card. So hold on just a moment. I have to shut my office door. The puppies are talking to each other and they get a little loud when I'm doing past life readings. So the reverse moon card here, I feel like a lot of that fertility, and then I feel like a secret. There's definitely like that looking inside and seeing something else hidden inside. The guides are telling me right now, I can feel this, that in this life, that time that you were born into, that your heritage was disguised. It was lied about. I feel like your mother had an affair and became pregnant with you with someone else, is what I'm getting here. I feel like your father found out, like the father, her husband, the father of your siblings basically found out that you were not his child. I feel like he found that out pretty early on. As I was shuffling, I was feeling the year 1807. So I don't know if this is when you were born, or when you passed away, or just like a major year. But definitely there was something in there for you. 1807 is you were alive at some point during that time frame there. So I'm feeling like life was a bit different back then. Like divorce was not something that people did. You didn't walk away from your family very often, or people who did were definitely treated with less respect than they were today. So I'm feeling like a lot of him staying. I do feel like he stayed, but I don't feel like your like we have this journal here, but it came reversed. So it's like telling me the secrets were not secret at all. Once it came out, once that energy, that secret became the main part, so like your heritage was known, it was no longer a secret. And I feel like that definitely caused some strife between you and your siblings. I'm feeling like you had a large household. I'm getting like this Catholic vibe here. Late 1700s, early 1800s Catholic vibe. Or it could just be a very religious household where, church is a big deal, a big part of it. And during this time, like just having a lot of children to help with farming and everything. I'm feeling that was a big reason why you had so many siblings. It was common. The birth control issue, birth control wasn't really a big thing yet, and it was definitely, I'm feeling farming, because even as I was going into this, I was feeling something about potatoes. So I don't know if this means like Ireland or where they were growing potatoes in that time frame, but I'm definitely feeling something about potatoes, like growing potatoes. And so I feel that you and your siblings, basically, there was a lot of argumentative strife. I feel like there was a lot of he said, she said, a lot of them discounting you, basically, very often, because they knew that you were not 100% their sibling. You were a half sibling, and it's not like that never happens, but I feel like with them it was something that made them very angry. So this is kind of cool here. So right away I'm drawn to, so this is like early life, born into life in the first few years, so maybe up to like, I guess early adulthood for that time frame. I don't even know if you would say early adulthood, but I would say probably like I'm feeling 10 or 12 years old. I'm definitely feeling you walked away from this. This was something this whole life here was something you turned your back on. And you did it without much regret. So I kind of feeling like it wasn't your choice to turn your back on this life, but that because of your heritage, because of your father being someone different than the man who was actually raising you and taking care of your whole family, feeling like selling you into marriage, giving you into marriage younger than your other female siblings were given off. And now this could be too, because I feel like you were the youngest, that at this point when you were nearing that age but weren't quite there yet, maybe most of the other siblings were gone and your parents were just ready to have an empty house, for whatever reason. But I feel like it was definitely, you were given away, sold into marriage or something. But I feel like you walked away from it joyfully, gleefully. And then seeing here, like this card here, I'm definitely feeling that that Six of Pentacles, that giving away. So I don't feel that, not slavery, so not selling, although I feel like at this time there was probably always money or goods being exchanged when marriage came into play. So there could have been something like that, but I feel like it was a very open, very giving. And the good news is, like, I feel like this relationship, this marriage that you got entered into, I'm feeling like it was pretty amazing for you. I see that, like, growing up, I feel like your home was always kind of dark and dingy, and there was a lot of fighting, a lot of arguing. Food on the table was not always a complete guarantee, and if it was not for you, the youngest, and for you who your father was angry about, about not being your true blood father. So I feel like when you went to this other home, what's interesting is I'm feeling love for your spouse, but not like in love, like mad in love, like if like true love, if you could pick your own spouse. But I feel like the love was more of for his life and for the family that lived with him. I feel like he wasn't like well off, like, I'm not picking up like a rich guy or anything, but definitely I'm feeling, if not more money than your family that you had grown up with, I'm feeling that his family probably spent it wiser. Like, I'm feeling your family, like there was a lot of probably angry drinking, the one that you were in, but then when you found this family, it was like more of a mix of culture, more of an openness, and teaching you to craft inside, maybe like, I feel like there was probably some shady dealings going on in the home you grew up when you needed extra money, but like in this household that you moved into, I can see like embroidery or making lace. So I'm feeling like you guys did definitely all kind of contribute, the other family members here, but that it was a happier and healthier way. But again, I do feel that you were very young, especially when we talk like today's standards. I'm feeling like, somewhere 12 to 13-ish. Oh, that's interesting. I say that a lot, but oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. So I'm feeling, when I see these two cards here, we have the Empress. No, I don't know why I call her Empress. The High Priestess and the Magician, and he's reversed. So I'm feeling like after your marriage, after this happiness, after everything that was going on, I often see this card as like a proposal card when I'm using this deck. The King, not King, sorry, Knight of Pentacles. So I see him as like the proposal card. So I'm feeling like after you were in this happy household, everything was going wonderful, something actually happened. You met someone who was like your, I wouldn't say, not like polar opposite, but like the yin to your yang, like together you guys made a perfect pair. These are the two magical cards, like these magical people in the tarot deck, and I'm feeling just this drawn that after a few years of being with this family, being really happy, someone else came into the picture, another man, and he was actually a man that you felt like could make you happy, and he was making you happy. I feel, oh, this is interesting. I'm feeling like it was a little bit of history repeating itself. Your husband, the one you were actually married to, I feel like he was barren. Is that what you call guys? When they're not able to have children, is it barren for them? I don't know. But I feel like he was barren. So, or unable to conceive. Whatever you would call that for a man. So I feel like there was some kind of accident, and he was unable to conceive. And I don't know if he was 100% aware of this or not. I mean, it was the early 1800s, so I'm not sure if they had sperm testing capabilities then or not. But I'm feeling he definitely couldn't conceive. And with this, like, you wanted a child, you wanted to bring someone into this world. And so I'm almost feeling like this guy, like, I feel like this was not a secret. Like, I feel like this strong, I wouldn't say public connection between you and this other person that you were involved with, or becoming involved with. But I do feel a strong, like it wasn't a huge secret. Like, I don't know if he was your husband's friend, or maybe a family friend, a cousin of your husband's, or something like that. But I'm feeling this, yes, when I said cousin, I got like that tap on my shoulder that I feel sometimes. So he was a cousin of your husband, and that's how he ended up in this situation, was because you guys wanted to have a child. You wanted one so bad, and I feel like there was almost a similarity between this cousin and your husband physically. I mean, there was some with them being related, of course, but there was a stronger similarity than that. Like both of them had a same odd-shaped nose or something. So because of these shared features, I feel like your husband thought it would be a good idea if you use this man to conceive. And so because of that, I'm feeling, definitely not quiet, secreted, and it wasn't totally history repeating, but there was some, because this was supposed to be kind of a, just together to get pregnant kind of deal. But instead, I feel like the two of you started to fall in love. I can see like a white flower. It's like a flower you would see in the market or something, but it's like a fruit or a vegetables flower. It's rather large, but I feel like this flower, like a literal flower he brought to you and handed you one night, when the two of you were supposed to try to make a child. And um, with this flower, I'm feeling like he was promising you something. He was promising you more than this situation had originally been prepared for. I feel like it was like I feel like he was trying to get you to run away. The guides just put an image in my head of my blue deck, my Book of Shadows as above. They want me to get a card from in here to further see what they're trying to tell me here. There was definitely a promise, and I feel like he was trying to get you to run away. The thing is, like, even though I feel like you were definitely falling for him, like there was this strong love for him, I feel like there was others in their family that you didn't want to hurt. You didn't want to leave your husband. You didn't want to run off into the middle of the night in this big, grand, romantic adventure, because it was like you had young sister-in-laws, I'm feeling, who really looked up to you, and you didn't want to leave them behind. You didn't want to leave your mother-in-law. You didn't want to disappoint anybody. And you honestly did love your husband. You didn't love him quite as much as you loved his cousin. So I'm getting the letter P for a name. I don't know if this is the last name or one of their names or your name, because all I'm seeing is the P. But it was definitely the starting of a name. Okay, so the world. I feel like he really was offering you the world. The Eight of Earth, the Crone of Air. I'm just feeling like this, come with me. You know, like we might have nothing. We might be living off the earth and doing nothing, you know, have nothing with our lives, but together we'd have it all, is what I feel like. You know, together we would have the world. It would be everything we've ever dreamed of, is what I'm feeling. But with the Crone of Air, I'm just feeling like that's like that very serious intellectual, I was trying to say brain power, but you know, mind, like the rational side of you, and not the romantic and loving and believing and fantasy side of you. So I'm feeling that, and with that being crone too, it's like older energy, way more mature than like we would be at a younger age. So I feel like it was, especially since I still feel like you were very young, in this sense. You'd been married a few years, but you were still only like 15 or 16. So I'm feeling like you were perhaps wise beyond your years, but that you relied too much on the mind side of you, I guess, rather than the romantic side of you. And even though he was kind of offering you the world and, you know, telling you we may not have a home, we may not have riches, but we'll have each other and we'll be in love, you were just, I feel like you definitely shot him down. But there was a child that came out of this relationship. Yeah, okay, so with this page of cups, it's a cups, yep. Page of Cups, I'm feeling that young, youthful energy. Same with the Ace of Swords and the Three of Wands. Like they're all, yes, the page is like an 11, but it's typically like a really young person. So I feel like that was the child that the two of you had together. I also feel like it was kind of an awakening, like it was something, it was like something awakening inside of you where you knew you were supposed to be a mother, but you were still staying with your husband. I feel like there were a couple more children. with this card. I feel like three or four, the cards say. No, just kidding. So I definitely feel that connection of that four right there, and then this card came out too. But this Four of Cups, not for how many children you had, but that you were constantly trying to fill your soul, fill your life, your heart with having more children. The Two of Cups appeared reversed as well, and I feel like that was just the romance between your husband and you was just kind of fake, but it was the one you were forcing upon yourselves, and then the love that you felt for his cousin was definitely stronger. And with all this young energy right before here, I'm getting that definitely that lots of children vibe. I'm feeling like your husband's love maybe wasn't even as strong, and maybe it was like yours, and maybe for the two of you it was your family, his family, I should say, that you were worried about hurting. Although I don't feel like the two of you ever verbalized this to each other. I think with each other you acted like everything was new and exciting and adventurous, but that in fact excuse me, in fact it was kind of dark between the two of you, is what I'm feeling. Especially with these two cards here, like you keep trying to fill yourself. What is better? And you keep trying to fill yourselves with having all these children, and the children did take up more and more of your times, and you guys were happy with them, you were happy with his family, but then when it came to the two of you together, it was like that young puppy love that you guys had felt when you initially got together was definitely starting to fade. And I feel like it kind of started to make things feel almost like they had for you in your home growing up. I can see alcohol becoming a problem in this relationship again, just like it had in your own home. But you were still determined. Like it was like this thing, like, where you really, really are certain that you can make this work. We just had all these cards fall. So the Temperance card is your Sagittarius card, and that came out here, all about that balance. And I feel like the balance was lacking. Definitely we have the King of Air, which is actually the same as the King of oh, never mind. I thought that was the King of Swords. Never mind. Okay, so the King of Wands. Oh, that's what it was. 2 Wands cards. Sorry. So the King of Wands and the 4 of Wands, they're both reversed, blocking that positive, pinpoint celebration energy. So I'm definitely just feeling that that was it. I'm feeling like you guys were very much into raising your children, and it was no longer about the two of you, and you lived vicariously through other people's celebrations. So when your children got older, and I feel like some of the marriages were I don't want to say political, but you know what I mean, like your family and their family made this decision for your kid and their kid to get married, and I feel like some were like that, but I do feel like there were some that actually fell very much in love, and you guys celebrated that with them, excited that they found that in their lives, found something that you guys had wanted. So I feel like that is what happened with your husband and your family, and I'm just feeling like a very complacent life then throughout. But what I am drawn to reading more on is you and the cousin. And I'm curious, how did you guys not find each other first? And I want to see like some of the moments between the two of you. I feel really drawn to looking more into some of that, because I feel like, we've covered your spouse and his family that you lived with and that were around you, and then we covered your children. But this man, this cousin, I really want to know it was with this unrequited love. Or I guess it was a little bit requited, huh? But not completely. So right away, I'm feeling it's like that Catholic energy I felt at the beginning of this reading. And I don't know if it's Catholic or if it's another major religion that uses the Bible and is similar. But it's definitely that idea I'm getting in my head. So it is strange to me that it was okay to have a child with someone else, with your husband knowing, but that I'm feeling like the church, the religion itself, kept you from leaving your husband and going with the man you actually were in love with and who was madly in love with you. Oh gosh. Okay, so we'll start this off with this card here, the reverse Six of Cups. Put my glasses back on. I keep taking them off during readings for some reason. It's like my vision gets better for a little bit. Yeah, right. I wish. But the Six of Cups reversed. So this is like about childhood and giving to your children. To me, this is very interesting because it's like he was giving you these children. They were his children. They were your children together, but they weren't really. It was like he was giving you children for you and your husband to raise together, which is really sad. Because I'm feeling like sadness here from him, from that card. I'm feeling this sadness here from him in the reverse Knight of Cups. Just like this romantic charge and charging and taking what you want kind of night. With love and emotion and good feeling, and reversed. I just feel so sad here. It's just, I mean, like, I literally am feeling like this, like I want to cry. And it's one of those emotions that's just coming over out of the energy here. The Judgment card. So I really feel I'm going to go with more of the word judgment and less of what this card's real meaning and design. But that word judgment really just kind of goes back to what I was thinking. Something about the church not being able to leave your husband. So that's really kind of sad to me. Well, not kind of. That's super sad. Oh, gosh. Okay. Sorry. Oh. So the Tower card here, which is, all about something collapsing, never being the same again. This can lead to really good things, the Tower card. Like, a dissolving of something to go into something else. Like losing a job and then so you can go into a better job. Here, I'm feeling fear. So the fear I'm feeling is this Three of Cups. This reminds me of the image we had in the Sun card, which was the three women dancing underneath the sun. The Mother, Maiden, and Crone, who we kind of have a Mother, Maiden, and Crone here. Dancing underneath the moon, though, this time. So I'm definitely drawn to that fear of losing your husband's family. Like, that connection with them was so strong. You felt more like you had a family in his family than you ever did before in your life with your own family. And you just, I feel like you were, in this lifetime, you could have disappointed your own family and not thought twice about it, but disappointing his family, that was too much for you to deal with. And then this Queen of Pentacles card, which to me, she's all about abundance, strength, and I'm getting, like confidence. But here I feel really this, like sitting on this throne, like sitting on what you had and afraid to lose it again. And then we have, and this is kind of here, not even symbolic, but pretty literal, all these kittens from the mama cat. Like, that was really, you had a life, you had a family you loved, you didn't want to lose it, and you had all these children. So, I'm getting a lot of really sadness here, but I would like to see, some happiness, guides. If you can show me some happiness, please show us some happiness from this life. Show us some happiness from this relationship she had with the cousin. It's got the name Seth. Oh gosh. So the Empress, the pregnant woman, like, of course there was joy when you guys found out you were pregnant with children. Every time he made you feel like the woman that you never thought you would be. Because even though, like, here's the thing, like, even though it was your husband, I feel like, who was the one, when it came to getting pregnant, you guys weren't able to get pregnant because of whatever was going on with him. There wasn't 100% surety that it was going to be him. I almost feel like maybe he would have been with another woman or two to kind of test this, but that right away when you were with his cousin, you became pregnant, and it was, then you knew that it wasn't you, and that you were a woman, and that you could have children and give them the life that you never had, that you always wanted. And again, I'm not feeling like finances, I'm not feeling money, I'm just feeling like a lot of energy about the abundance in love and family and joy is what was the main concern for you during that lifetime to give to your children. When you didn't always have money growing up, but your husband's family wasn't wealthy by any means, but they always had money to eat. And I feel like their abundance kind of took off over time. There was something with their land that kind of provided more money, more stability. Not sure what that was, but there was definitely a reason how they came into more money as time went on. And I feel like that was some of your factor for staying, and it wasn't because you wanted to be rich. It was just that, again, that mothering, wanting to take care of your children and provide for them. Okay. The Lovers, 9 of Cups, and the reverse, 2 of Swords. So with the Lovers card, of course, it's that love energy we've just been feeling. And I feel like this is kind of the guides telling us, these are all the reasons you guys weren't together. This was some of the happiness when you were together. But let's get into your relationship more. So with the 9 of Cups, I'm feeling like relax when you're with each other. It was easy. I feel like with your husband you were kind of on airs, like kind of serious a lot, but with Seth you were able to joke around, laugh, be silly. I see something with like you have a mouthful of something like bread or something, and you're laughing, and it's just like all in your teeth, and he starts laughing. And I feel like this was probably one of the rare moments that the two of you were able to be alone when you weren't attempting conceiving. Because even with conceiving, I kind of feel like there was somebody there. I don't feel like it was your husband or a family member, but I do feel like it was almost like there was someone there to make sure things didn't get too serious, that you didn't sleep over. I'm not sure, but I feel like there was someone there. So the moments that the two of you were alone were very few and far between. I feel that you guys were having dinner one night and you were laughing with bread in your mouth, and he's filling your wine glass, and the two of you were just kind of smiling at each other, and the only other people at the table at that moment were 2 of your children, and they were little girls with like long red curly hair, tons and tons of freckles. So, I'm feeling them sitting there at the table with you guys, and they didn't know he was their father, and I don't even feel like he lived there. I feel like he lived nearby enough that they could have him come, but not poor choice of words, that they could have him visit the house, but not nearby enough that the children knew him super super well. Like he wasn't a live on uncle. I do feel like called him uncle. They knew he kind of looked like their dad, so like your husband, I mean, and so they knew he was related. I feel like there was a moment I'm getting where your husband told you to make a choice. I feel like you started to sense that there was something going on between you and Seth more than what they had you guys doing over the years. And I feel like at that point, he told you to make a choice, and he said, we're done having children. I feel like you had 3 children. I'm still getting that number 3. So 3 children. He was done. You wanted more. I think some of you wanted more just because you wanted to be with Seth, but some of you wanted more just because of that strong nurturing ability inside of you. And I know you're studying to be a nurse right now, so that doesn't surprise me, all this nurturing inside of you, because the nursing, not all nurses are moms, but I feel like some of the love and emotion that goes into being a nurse or a mother, some of it's the same, because you want to care for others. So it's not surprising to see that follow you into this lifetime, and it might follow you into more lifetimes healing or a strong urge to be a mother. But I feel like there was definitely that moment of make a choice. And it's interesting because I didn't see this earlier and I see it now. You chose Seth for a short period. You couldn't take your children with you. I think maybe it was only a day, 2 days. It was a very short period of time, and the two of you realized that you could not do this. You could not be together without the children. I feel like Seth loved the children, but more like an uncle. He understood, he understood his role. He understood that he was their biological father, but his love was for you, not for the children. Not more than being an uncle or even like a brotherly figure, but he wasn't as close to them. He didn't feel like they had to come with you guys when you left. He was fine with, just taking you and never seeing them again if that's meant being with you, but you were not okay with that, and I feel like that is probably what did cause that divide, and maybe that's why you ended up with 3 children. I do see 2 stillborns, not included in the 3, so there were 5 births altogether, and 3 successful, 3 living to adulthood. So we got some reversed fire energy here, like that masculine, what do you call it? Like a wand. What's that called? Phallic kind of energy here. And what's interesting to me here is we have like the young strapping man here, and then the older wiser man. So I feel when you decided, I'm feeling like, okay, so we have the 3 again. So this 3 of Cups energy, which is the same as the dancing women. And feeling that, so that choosing, you chose to come back home, you chose to be with your children and your family. And I feel like at that point, he left. Seth was gone. He decided he couldn't be around anymore. He wouldn't be around anymore. I feel like he may have even sold off what he had left of his land, which I feel like is what you guys were selling off, some of your land. I'm not really sure what the deal is, but something about the land made you guys have more money. So I don't know if it was farming or selling or what, but he left, and I don't think you saw him again until he was much older. And the two of you, I feel like the two of you were at the table. There was your husband who it was like this proper, your husband was a really good guy. Like his heart was in a good place, but I feel like he was just off when it came to relationships. And so this connection never really fully formed between the two of you for what it could have been. So I'm feeling this connection to a big table, rectangle table. Lots and lots of family are there. I feel you're older. Everyone's older. I'm feeling 40s or 50s. So not very, very old, but probably very old for the time or the community that you were in. And I'm feeling there's a celebration of sorts that you guys were there for. And this was the last time you saw him, and you hadn't seen him in many years, kind of when you decided to choose your children over him. Oh, and that's very interesting. So we have the two, the Maiden of Water and the Mother of Earth. So it's like when you were younger, emotional, looking for more things, like really into the world. The Mother of Earth is actually that Mother of Pentacles we had from the other deck. I don't remember if it was in this. Yep. Or sorry, I think it's the Queen. I believe so. Well, their energy is the same anyways. So this energy here of this, the two women, it's very much that choosing to stay. And then again, that strong mothering sense here with the kittens. And then, of course, Mother of Earth. So definitely, it's interesting. I'm feeling like that. This land here, it's like very indicative of the land I kept seeing in the reading itself, and we were talking about their land. So it's very much like your growth and then his growth. Where'd he go? Where'd you go, Seth? There you go, buddy. So Seth's growth, like it's a very different kind of growth. Like yours is more universal, like a large lesson. Like I feel like maybe you had known him in a past lifetime and you had chosen to do ridiculous things with him, and then in this lifetime you decide to grow up somewhat. And that's probably how you're having your nurturing abilities in this lifetime, is because of some of the growth that you did here in this lifetime, which I feel is why we've tapped into this now. I'm definitely getting that feeling. His growth was not as strong as yours. He's the 5 and the 7 of fire, and then you were a maiden and then a mother. And I feel that strength growing inside of you. And then the elemental of earth, not earth, I'm looking right at the word, and the water itself. So the elemental of water, I'm really feeling like that growth of emotions being in you, being able to use them, but not letting them take you over, not letting them run your entire life anymore. You are able to kind of figure out what you want and what you should have and what's good for the people that you're actually taking care of, which is good, because I feel like probably in a life before this one, you had not done that lesson, and that's why it was like this in this lifetime. I'm also feeling like this message from the guides of like, it's okay to slow down. It's okay to make mistakes and to veer off. I'm feeling them say, just remember you are a strong emotional woman. You're given your emotions because you're strong enough to handle them, and that you should let them out sometimes and let them free, let them take you over sometimes. You've learned your lesson. You've learned how to be like that strong motherly, nurturing, serious woman, but it's okay sometimes to still let out kind of like that quirky, crazy side inside of you. Whew. But that was your past life reading. That was pretty interesting. That went somewhere I did not see in the beginning. That was very interesting to get to see you and Seth. I really appreciate you ordering that reading for me. You were my first reading of 2018. And I am excited to do many more this year. Or my first video reading, I should say, of 2018. But I hope you have a really blessed day, and thank you again. Bye.